Hi, uh, this is for an aid to learn Brazilian Portuguese. I'm simply going to read in English a the text from a YouTube that is found on YouTube. Okay, it's one of a series of 15 in the same series that someone made. I'll put a link to that in my description of this video. And this is for anyone to use, but I'm primarily making it for my language partner who this is suitable for. But anybody who's just kind of getting started on Portuguese probably help you out. You can read the text, which is in Portuguese. Same time, you can be listening to me on another device, possibly, or the same device, maybe. So this time through is going to be quickly. I'm not going to stop translate anything word for word or phrase by phrase. I'm just going to read in English. Here it goes. Okay.
O que ninguém conta sobre ser adulto? Não.
Excuse me. What nobody tells about being an adult. Okay. It says below that the subtitle says you do not have anything wrong with you. To be an adult is strange like this. Just okay. So when we notice, we see back, and all that we see are memories of our infancy, of our childhood. When we close the eyes, we still are capable of remembering the details. This is what it says, when I close my eyes. I am capable of remembering the details of my room in the house of my mother. I can see where my Super Nintendo was installed, the position of the bed, the television support, and even the picture of Snoop on the wall. Neither does it appear a past so distant, but today I'm 32 years old, and much stuff has changed since the time that I counted the months in order to be able to say finally that I was an adolescent. And okay, so when we are younger, we create a certain expectation over adult life. No wonder the phrases when we are big or when we are an adult are so repeated by kids. So we are expecting a sudden change, that moment where we turn adult. That turn of the key, but we get 18 years old and this doesn't happen. The process in reality, in truth, is quite gradual, varying a lot for each one of us. Okay. says, trying to catch the caption of that picture. It goes by about 2 seconds here. You never grow up. Okay. Despite the stereotype of a serious adult, a serious and responsible adult, the majority of us sustain a mask, projecting this seriousness to be what the world expects. But there inside, little changes. You grow and continue to like silly things. Sitting down to talk nonsense with friends continues to be fun, being one of the best forms of fun that exist. Developing a sense of responsibility, it says we develop a sense of responsibility, but the silliness of youth tends to continue on. And so, for some time, I've finished entering the pile of the super serious responsible adult, which causes me various internal conflicts. Today, I avoid putting on the persona of a boring old man. I prefer to be more informal, accessible, and playful. Okay, responsibility and maturity does not need to transform us into square people. Okay, the adult life is much less stable than we imagine. Okay, we project an image quite funny of adults when we are younger, and it is quite probable that this is for our uh, closest reference. The universe more stable that our parents ideally provided to protect us. We, in some measure, imagine that we're going to grow up, have a house, kids, and a flower garden. Then our time arrives, and we discover that things are not quite that way. They're not well that way. We change where we live with a much greater frequency than we expect uh, to find a mate, sweetheart, whatever, or Sarah, a partner that we are going to pass a long period with, knowing is more difficult than it appears. And the fear that our structure is going to go underwater is frequent. The adult life is kind of like walking on a tightrope, but without knowing where we are going to fall if something goes wrong. Okay. 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 drinking is overestimated. When we are adolescents, drinking becomes a ritual of passage, and it is a representation of our independence, a shout of liberty. Um, when we are adults, these adventures possess a price much higher. It is common we see people waking up on the following day saying that never more are they going to drink, a decision that lasts just until the next Thursday. The pain of the headache, the taste of rust in the mouth, and that uh, bad feeling that lasts the entire day are just the point of the iceberg. Tip of the iceberg. We say tip of the iceberg. Okay. Okay. The following day is practically lost. We cannot manage to execute no task with quality or attention. Things more complex end up accumulating for the future without talking about the um, moral hangover. When we start to remember the details of the previous night, which we want to erase from time. We want to have it erased from time. Okay. Okay. So what I've come to observe through the maturation of my friends is a reduction in the quantity of alcoholic beverage that they ingest, preferring more sophisticated options. And I fit into this group. Today I tend to drink less and with better quality. People are going to judge us on our appearance. I believe that's what that title said. It flips by about. I'm not going to go back to it. I believe it says people judge us by our appearance. Okay, so we always carry the banner that my ability must be evaluated by the results that I present, not by the way that I dress. I still believe and sustain this vision, but I slowly come to understand how others see the subject. Unfortunately, the companies that hire us also are preoccupied with the image of people that are going to carry their name. With much frequency, we see recruiters give preference to someone more representable, okay, compared to the candidate technically superior. The important here is to understand that this is going to happen. This is going to happen, and so we can go through this world with more consciousness, more awareness of that. Okay. Not to say for you to put on airs. I mean, be somebody who you're not. As it says, okay, put on image that isn't you. This steering personagens. Okay, but simply understand that in certain moments they are going to expect a specific type of appearance from you. Okay, if adequate or not is your choice, but it always carries consequences. Okay. Relationships are important, and your pride is going to destroy them. Okay. The adolescence is a phase where still we are uh, building our ideas, developing a map of what the world represents for us. Few things offend us, for really offend us in this period. The majority of these offenses end up not being so important. When we are growing, our convictions tend to assume a greater weight. At this point, we see our friends sustaining visions contrary to ours, and we feel deceived or offended. Disillusioned is one of the definitions, but which means kind of deceived, right? Okay. Okay, in the period of political polarization, it is quite easy to observe this phenomenon occurring. Innumerable friendships are lost for disagreements of points of view. But our friends are important, and our differences are just details inside the whole experience that we share together. We can even learn. Second. Okay. We can learn from them and understand other scenarios. The famous agree and disagree. Don't let the ego and the wanting to be right interfere in these relationships. This not letting the ego and the wanting to be right interfere in these relationships is most important if you wish to have long lasting relationships with your friends. Okay, your insides start to, let me try to go back to that picture again. Okay, they start to become confused, your insides. Okay. So, so I was quite surprised when this occurred. I did not expect this change. One day you're traveling, wake up, and it appears that your insides have forgotten to function. Some days pass, and you are remaining kind of tense, feeling a light sense of poor being. It's the opposite of well being. All right, okay. Okay. I don't know how this occurs, But with age, our body becomes much more sensible, much more sensitive to changes. Okay, end of the year, holiday season, right? End of the year, at your aunt's house, trip for the job, eating too much pizza. Ready? The story continues again. The saga commences again, it says. We discovered that it is for this, I discovered that it is for this, that adults eat so much mamao. Okay, I can't remember the name of that. I can't remember the English word for that. Fruit. Okay, I didn't write it down. And I know what it looks like, and I mean I know what it is in English, but I can't think of the English word. Okay. And invest money in yogurts that promise to be infallible in liberating the intestine. Okay. Get my mind off what mamao is. It'll pop right back in there. Like, I just can't think of the name of the fruit. I love that stuff, though. Anyway. Okay, money is a constant preoccupation, even if you have a lot of it. Does not exist a day in that I am not stopping a moment to think about money. I question if there is going to be is there going to be for all that I need? Okay, using dar to give for be. It's not too unusual in this language. Okay. So the question is if there's going to be for all that he needs. Will there be enough money? Okay, it can appear that in some moment this type of preoccupation quits existing. But for the majority of people, such moment never arrives. I remember my first job when I looked at the salary of positions more elevated and thought that, well, when I got all that money, the problems are going to be resolved. But a curious thing happens, a curious phenomenon happens. We are very well in coming up with expenses for the money that we receive. Normally, such dreamed of augmenting in the salary turns into a loan for getting a new car, turning your car in for a new one, or remodeling the kitchen. Okay. So when we take notice of the situation, it is more or less as it was before. People that make more tend to spend more. Okay. Caring at the end of things, after all is said and done, carrying the same preoccupation to start with. You make more, you spend more, and your worry about money never ends. Okay, health is left for the future. Okay, Sauji. Health is always something that we project into the future. If we don't take care of ourselves now, we are going to have complications in the future. The problem is that the future, the health turns into a preoccupation present. So in the future, it's now going to be a present problem, okay? Anyway, the visits to the doctor increase, allergies that we never had start appearing, your body starts behaving in a form quite strange. Okay, he brags on himself here. For practicing exercising, there exist some things that still don't affect me, but my closest friends complain of pain in the back, the knees, the joints. My spouse, arriving at at 30, pops up with a pain, a different pain every day. Okay, so when we are young, we overdo a lot the behaviors that injure us in the long term. One fine day we wake up and the body appears to be collecting the price of these abuses. Okay, we are bad at preventing, spending the whole life, preferring to fix / remedy. Talking about health, probably say remedy instead of fix, okay. Okay, sex. We talk more than we do. Okay, much of our culture goes around sexuality, chats with friends, so male friends and female friends, scenes in the film, innumerable documentaries and cultural references. All the world talks about sex all the time. So it is curious, meanwhile, that in growing and participating in relationships more durable, long lasting, the frequency of our sexual relations fall. So my theory is simple with the increasing of worries, preoccupations, and the daily stress. You are going to turn more and more difficult to let things go, or let things go of the problems and relax in the company of the other person. The excitement of a new relationship appears to compensate these factors, but as soon as things cool down, it's easy to observe a drastic change in our sexual lives. Okay, so recently rolled by a hashtag on Twitter over adult things, and of these, one of these posts represents well, very well, my vision of the subject. Um, okay. Say, sex is a thing of adolescence. Adults sense pleasure seeing the bills all paid at the end of the month. Unhappily, you can't find the original author for that. That says you never finish your studies. So far. Okay. We're going to call that good enough. It's a half hour. Finish it up in one more film. Bye for now. This kind of thing, like, share,